G'day. I'm just working from home this afternoon after having a few meetings this morning, but just want to record this video because I just finished listening to this fantastic podcast. It's all about the meaning of work, and I've just included a link to the podcast below. Really worthwhile listening to. It takes basically it's a combination of a few interviews that Guy Ross has done with different people who've spoken on the TED stage. And there's a couple of things that probably are fairly straightforward. One of the key things that motivate people at work, and obviously this is mainly designed for your team, for yourself, but also your team. It's all about, well, how do we get more engagement from the team, get them to put in more effort, feel more rewarded, or feel more feel happier to be at work. And so obviously them knowing what the purpose of their role is, obviously the purpose of the business, how they are contributing to the success of the business and what the business is doing to help people in the community or the wider market is obviously that's one key area. And that's something that I've spoken about before. If you've read anything about Simon Sinek, he talks about starting with why, why we do what we do, why the business does what it does, and obviously getting engagement, both from customers, but also from your team around those things. And I've recorded some videos about that in the past, about really understanding your purpose. But the one thing that stood out for me in the podcast was that people want to see results of what they do. It's one thing to know how they fit into the business, what the business does in the wider context, but really, if you can really show them the results the business is achieving for others, for the community, for your customers, that's when it really all becomes real to them. Okay, and it's something I probably haven't really gotten clients to do in the past. So, for example, and some roles, it's pretty straightforward. It happens automatically. So, if we've got people who are working in a cafe, they can see the food being served. They can see people, eating it. They can see people being happy, having a good time at the cafe, probably be giving feedback straight away. So those sorts of, there are roles when it automatically happens. But in a lot of office type of roles, where you might be, working as an estimator for a building company or an admin role within a business, where you have less people, less contact with the customer. I think those sorts of roles, which are integral to the business and integral for the success of the business and the team working together and supporting each other, those roles I think really need to see the results of what the business does. So it got me thinking that, if you're having things like monthly team meetings where you're sharing wins or getting people to give feedback around what's happening in the business, maybe introduce results, projects that have been completed, photos, maybe testimonials from clients, getting your team to actually go and visit the site where you've completed a project if you're in the construction industry. Just think about those sorts of things. People really want to see the results from their efforts, but also the business's efforts. Okay, so really take that on. Have a listen to the podcast. It's got a lot of other great information and great studies that people have done around why people work, what motivates people at work, and how they can contribute and feel like the work they do is more meaningful. All right, so have a listen to the podcast. I'll be sharing other podcast summaries with you as I listen to them, and speak soon. All the best. Okay, before I go, I've just been listening to the chickens squawking in the background while I've been making that video. So I thought I might just check on them and show you the chickens. Now we've got 6 chickens, so we used to get 5 eggs a day, but it's become a bit cooler, so they're not laying as much. But you can probably see the chooks there. There's a few there. Oh, there's a couple more over here. Anyway, I think they're either hungry or I think they just want to be let out. So I might give them a bit of a roam around. We definitely get free range eggs here. So all the best. Speak soon.